Right, here you can see my Hunting 5 Auto, and I have now put on it not only have I got the Accu bipod mounted on the front, but I've also stuck my Nightforce telescopic sight on board it. Now, I've had a bit of stick when I did a review of this scope from people saying, why on earth have you got such a really nice telescopic sight on just an air rifle? And the reason is because good optic is a good optic no matter what you've got it on. And yes, I could put some cheap Hawk or whatever on it, or you know, some cheap and cheerful scope, or a Nico Sterling on it or something. But to be honest with you, I got this scope was second hand when I bought it, so it was relatively, I say relatively inexpensive. It was in the range that you'd probably pay for a medium sort of bracket Hawk telescopic sight. So to my mind, why wouldn't you? You know, if you can buy a second-hand Nightforce scope with all the sort of pedigree that they come with, the build quality and the optics, why wouldn't you buy one of those rather than a mid-priced sort of airgun specific scope? After all, this does nothing that there's nothing that a specific air rifle scope will do that this won't. This parallax is down to 20 yards, which, you know, most of my hunting is between probably, I don't know, 30 yards to 40 odd yards, so the parallax isn't a problem. The magnification range is 5 up to 20, so, you know, to be honest with you, 20 times zoom I would never use that really, because the most I ever seem to use is sort of from 5 up to 10. So the mag range is plenty enough. It's got an illuminated reticule, it's 56mm objective lens, built like a tank. It's a lovely scope, so why would you not use that if you can get one for the same price as you're paying for a Hawk or an MTC or something like that? I can't see what the problem is myself. You know, good optics, good optics. It's a tough, durable scope, really good quality. It's got a lovely reticule in it. Lens quality is really good. It's right up there with some amongst the best. It's not the best, I have to admit, but it's up there with the best. It's certainly better than I think it's better than MTC optics. I think it's better than most of the Nico Sterlings. I think it's better than the Vortex. And it's certainly better than a lot of the sort of cheaper Chinese scopes that are flooding onto the market as airgunning scopes. So I can't see a problem with it myself. If you know, if you can get one cheap enough, why not stick it on an airgun? What's the big deal? Plus, of course, it also means that I can whip it off and it can go on anything. Go on an HMR, whatever. So, what's the problem? I also happen to think it looks rather splendid. And I'm also well impressed with this bipod. This thing makes for a really, really stable shooting platform. And as regards a sort of target orientated shooting setup, I have to say that I think that my Hunting 5 looks pretty damn mean, and it also shoots pretty damn mean in this setup. It's just a nice, stable, sweet shooting platform. You know, I wouldn't consider leaving the bipod on this rifle while I take it round for a hunt, obviously, because it makes it far too front heavy. But if you're shooting prone at targets, or you've fitted a new telescopic sight into your rifle and you want to get it zeroed in really accurately, or you're in a hide, or shooting from blind, then I think this rifle here, this setup, is fantastic. I mean, it looks great. I love the way this gun looks. It's an awesomely lovely rifle. It really is. Steyr do make nice rifles, and I think that looks great. So there you go. So that's the Hunting 5 Auto fitted up with the Nightforce scope and the Accu bipod. It's an SHV scope, by the way. Shoots a hunter varmint. And yeah, I think they're about 700 or 800 quid new. But if you look around and you're lucky, you can pick them up on eBay for a lot less than that. I actually picked this one up second hand from Optics Warehouse as part of their used section, and this supposedly came with a sort of, they graded it as an 8 in condition. When I first bought it, it didn't have any lens caps with it, so I sent an email off to the good people at Nightforce in the States, and within a week I had the appropriate and correct rubberized lens caps for it. But even though it was an 8 on the Optics Warehouse way of marking the condition of the scopes, there's not a mark on it. It's perfect. It had one tiny mark where the oh, pardon me, where the rings had been, but I mean, it was tiny. So I was very impressed with it. And fair dues to Optics Warehouse. They're if you're looking for a second-hand scope, they're always worth a quick look, because they really do seem to have some very nice stuff in. And I think that looks great. I really do. And you know, people say, it doesn't matter what it looks like. What does it shoot like? What does it hunt like? In fact, they're right. You know, there's no point having a lovely looking thing if it doesn't shoot good. But if you've got something that does shoot good, and this rifle does, it does no harm to have something that also looks fantastic. And whilst this might look somewhat plain to a lot of people, I think that the Hunting 5 is one of the most handsome and pointable rifles that I've ever come across. Thanks for watching. My next video will be probably Wednesday or Thursday, and I'm hoping that by then my new Priest will have arrived. I've ordered a Priest 2, and that's on its way, doing a RFD transfer. So hopefully that rifle will be here on Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's due Wednesday. I'll get that set up. I'm going to put my IOR scope on that setup, I think. I'm going to leave the Pard on my little Uragan compact, because I'm really pleased with that. That's a lovely little setup. And I like this Nightforce scope on this Hunting 5. Looks great. So I'm going to stick that IOR scope that I've got on the Priest when it arrives, and see how that goes. So thanks for watching, and keep your eye open for that one.